It's a little bit of a diversion from all of the inequality stuff that we've been doing. It's not that bad, though. Yeah, it's really not that bad. You guys have all seen equations that have more than one variable, so it's not new in that case. It's just that we're going to take those equations that have more than one variable.
And just solve for one.
Right, and we're going to make it so that it's one variable equal to something else. So, for example, a situation where you might have more than one variable. You guys have all seen perimeter before, right? Yeah. Okay. So, perimeter is equal to, do you guys remember what perimeter is equal to?
Length plus width.
You're super close. So, perimeter is, so we've got this rectangle here. So let's say we're looking at a rectangle. So perimeter is different for each shape. Let's pretend we're looking at a rectangle. I've got length here, I've got width here. So it's not just length plus width, because that would just be these two sides.
It's length times 2 plus width times 2.
Right, so okay, awesome. So does everybody hear what Michaela and I think Annabelle and maybe a few other people? Oh, great. Good for you, Elijah. So it's length times 2, so I'm going to write it as 2L. Plus width times 2, and I'm going to write that as 2W. All right. So now, that's the formula for perimeter. And you guys have seen that before, right? Probably way back in 4th, 5th grade? Okay. Yeah, like reach way back in your memories. You guys probably all liked One Direction back then?
No.
You did. You did. Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
The only person actually that ever liked One Direction in our grade was Brittany McCord.
Okay. All right. So, okay, so quiet. So in this case, quiet please. So in this case, I didn't realize that was so controversial. In this case, there are 3 variables. So remember, variables are things that have letters. There are 3 variables in this situation. All right. So if I'm looking at this, Andrea, what are the 3 variables? You don't have to tell me their names, just the letters. What are the letters for the 3 variables?
I don't remember.
Well, they're right in front of you here. So we got 3 letters and we got 2 numbers. So what are the letters?
L, P, W.
Great, awesome. So our 3 variables are P, L, and W. All right, so right now this equation is set up so that it's P is equal to, and then all this stuff on the other side. So our 3 variables are P, L, and W. So the way that this is set up right now, because it's P is equal to, that means this is solved for P, because it's P is equal to, and then everything else is on the other side. Okay, so do you guys kind of sort of see that? Solved for P means that it's P equal to, and then everything else is on the other side. So what we might want to do is there are situations where maybe you want to find out what the length is equal to, and you want to have everything that isn't the length on the other side instead of having everything that isn't the perimeter on the other side. Like maybe you know what the perimeter is, and you know what the width is, and you want to try and find out what the length is. You know what I mean? Right, and so how we're going to go about switching it around today is let's talk about how would we solve this for L. So to do that, here's the steps that we're going to go into. All right, so we're going to move everything around as if it were, that isn't our variable of interest. So I'm going to underline the variable of interest here, which is L. I'm going to move everything else around as if it were just a constant. Okay? So right now I've got P is equal to 2L plus 2W. So I want to get L by itself. I have a 2 that's in front of it that's being multiplied, and then I have this plus 2W. So the first thing I want to get rid of is the plus 2W. I want to move that to the other side. It's plus 2W right now. So how do I undo plus 2W, Elijah? Great, so I'm going to minus 2W from this side, and whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to minus 2W. All right, so now I've got P minus 2W. All right, So now some of you will understand what I'm going to say next and some of you won't. So please just listen for a second. So this is perimeter and this is width. So if I do perimeter minus 2 width, does that make -1 perimeter width? No, that doesn't make any sense, right? That's completely bogus. So P minus 2W, because it's perimeter and width, those two things aren't anywhere near the same thing, right? So on the left-hand side, Juju, what do you think I should write on the left-hand side? I promise you if you get this wrong, I'm not going to yell. Not WP. I can't combine those two variables because they're not the same. Not W plus P. So I'm just going to write this, which is what, Juju? Great, P. And then I'm going to write great. See, I promised I wouldn't yell. Did I yell? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some students seem to think I have a temper problem and that I yell a lot. So I just want to make sure I didn't yell just then.
You never yell at us.
I feel like I don't either, but some students say I yell. Great. So I'm going to cancel out these two W's, and then on the right-hand side, all that's left right now is 2L. All right, we're almost there. We got like one step left. All right? Okay, Cade. This 2 that's in front of the L, is that 2 plus L, 2 minus L, 2 times L, or 2 divided by L? Great. How do you undo 2 times L? Great. So I'm going to divide this side by 2, and then I'm going to have to do the same thing to the other side. And when I do the same thing to the other side, in order to be fair, I have to divide the whole other side, everything over here, by 2. So I'm not just doing P divided by 2, and I'm not just doing 2W divided by 2, I'm doing the whole other side divided by 2. Now, if we were using actual numbers here, this P minus 2W would have had a nice neat number to deal with, but since we're dealing with variables, this doesn't have a nice neat number. It's this whole variable mashup. But on the right-hand side, this 2L divided by 2 can cancel out. So now we're left with that L is equal to, and then on the right-hand side, perimeter minus 2W divided by 2. And we have a new formula. If we know what the perimeter and the width is, we can find the length. Whereas up here, if we knew what the length and the width were, we could find the perimeter. So these two formulas are for two different things. So now, down here, it's solved for L. I could go through and take the original equation and solve it for W instead if I wanted to. And I'd get a third equation for the same thing, but it'd be solved for W. Right. So this can be really, really unsatisfying for Algebra 1 students because when you get your final answer, you don't end up with like x equals 3 or x equals -5/3 even. You end up with L equals P minus 2W over 2.
I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. That's just the answer. I know you don't like it. I have been teaching Algebra 1 for 10 years, and for 10 years I've had students who didn't like it.
How old are you?
I am 36.
Okay.
How? Time passes.
Time passes.
I started teaching Algebra 1 when I was 26, and I'm
Yeah,
now
the time
36.
machine.
Like,
How long do you teach?
what?
5 years, right?
10 years. Every year I've taught Algebra 1.
How long have you taught?
Oh, this is my 5th year here. I've taught 2 other places before. I taught at a bad kid school in Billings, and I taught very briefly at senior high.
Cool.
Was the bad kids school? Like, were they all bad?
It was a school for specifically for severely emotionally disturbed children.
Was it like scary?
I wasn't scared,
Yeah.
but
He
like,
is Superman.
but it was an alternative school. It was a school for kids who couldn't be in regular education.
That sounds about like me.